So CPT, again, I'm sorry if I butcher your name. Still, E91 says it's like he expects 40K to be an idyllic utopia like Star Trek or high fantasy sci-fi adventure like Star Wars. But it isn't. It's grimdark, it's the worst timeline where everything is horrible. And then again, he says good or evil aren't absolutes and depend entirely on what side you are on. That seems to be too nuanced for this guy.
I'd agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, that is true to a point, but then again, I have another issue. When I started 40K initially, and that's maybe like a different topic, maybe I'll cut that out separately, but when I started at 40K, of course I watched Bricky. And of course I watched his breakdown of the human factions and the Xenos factions. And right then and there, because I'm very good at analyzing literature, that is how I was taught in school to understand what
Hmm.
the author wanted to say and all those things. I got a few things that did not sound right to me because he, as well as other people, try to just perpetuate this understanding or just the view of 40K that there is no really anything good or evil. There's not really any good or bad guys. There's just like nuances and all that. Okay, that is true, of course, to a point, but then again, you still have to dig deeper and to still actually look at everything and measure everything. That is why actually
Yes.
I want to do like a video response to Major Kill because he did recently a video about is the Emperor actually good or evil? Because there's a lot to be said there, and he didn't actually get into it very deep at all. But yeah, basically, the problem that I immediately was like, ah, wait a minute, what is that? Was when Bricky said that there are absolutely no good guys in 40K, and everyone are like rah rah rah, and they're gonna kill you, and it sounded like everyone are berserker beastmen, that they're just gonna
Hmm.
kill you. And of course, for some chapters that is the case. It's just not entirely universal because then again, you do have chapters that are very noble, that have very good qualities as soldiers, as people. They respect each other. They even love each other as brothers. So they do have some kind of a creed and positive qualities to them. And of course, they are compelled, so to speak, to fight the Xenos. But that does not mean that they have evil in their hearts when they're doing it. There's
Hmm.
it's very different. Whereas the Chaos Gods, they're inherently created from the negative thoughts and emotions of course all kinds of races,
Yep.
humans as
They're
well.
they're inherently evil. Yep.
Exactly, but people are trying to
It's
make them out to be good because they also represented the positive qualities, and then to that I say, well, every positive quality that a particular chaos gods represents is just a mean to an end, and the end is the
yes.
negative. It is where
Exactly.
that god wants to bring you to that end. That God
Yes.
wants to make you like give you something and then push you into the direction of His own agenda, literally, and to make you descend to that whatever that end is. It's like a descent, it's not an ascension. Because once again, I'm seeing in my comments, there was a guy that just commented on my sanguineous figure representation of Joy Toy, and he's like, Fulgrim is the real angel, not sanguineous. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, because he ascended to demonhood. And he's like, with this emoji that means like peace and tranquility. And I'm like, what are you talking about? If that is how you're going to understand good and evil, and I said what actually the Fulgrim book says at the end of the book, where it is specifically explained how he let this demon in. So he reached the level of descent within himself to let that evil in. And when he did that, the demon just took over his body. Fulgrim was this small into his own mind, just trapped somewhere in there. Bear witness to what is happening to his body and the fact that he was now contemplating what he have done. He relinquished control of his own being, and now this demon is just in his body, and he's controlling his body. So Fulgrim himself, he's not even freaking there controlling anything. He's just a prison of his own mind by this demon. So how can you say that the real angel is Fulgrim, and Sanguinius, who has so many amazing qualities as a warrior, as a Primarch, and someone that actually cares about his own people? What are you saying? He's like virtue with
Mm-hmm.
wings.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. The whole topic is very nuanced. I think it actually would be a good topic to discuss. Um, for me, when I look at that topic of who are the good guys and who are the bad guys, well, it depends on the level of scale. Um, how important is humanity to you, or humans to you? Well, if they're important because we are human, well, then, we are going to have good guys and there are going to be bad guys. And whether you like it or not, the Commissar is just as much of a good guy as the Astartes is defending humanity, as is the Custodes, as is the Sister of Silence that's taking psychers on board ships and putting them into chains or offering them an opportunity to serve the Imperium of Man as a psyker. But then you can look at a salamander, the noblest of the Astartes chapters, possibly, and they have no problem killing Xenos children, according to one story. So again, you can just look at real day life. There's a saying that I've read sometimes, I'm not the hero you want. I am the monster you need. So, but are soldiers and firefighters and police officers heroes? It's all a matter of perspective. So yeah, there are good guys and there are bad guys, but it's to the degree and to the angle that you want to take the perspective from. For the Necrons or the Orcs, well, they could not care less. But to the Eldar, the Imperium of Man may be the bad guys, but the Eldar are just as much bad guys to the Imperium of Man.
Yeah.
But the other side of the coin to that whole conversation is, Fulgrim is the angel. Well, that's the whole problem with the Millennial and Gen Z generation being flooded with the modern day entertainment for modern audiences of there are no more superheroes anymore. It's just bad guys that are misunderstood and they're actually good. I'm sorry, but no, evil is evil. They do evil things. They may have been led down the garden path, but everybody has been led down the garden path. It's how you choose to take that and make yourself. If you want to go in the evil route, well, then you became evil. If you want to become a little bit more virtuous and take the bad that's happened to you and turn it to good, well, that would probably make you more of a hero, wouldn't it? So I'm sorry, that argument kind of falls flat in its face for me when it comes to the, oh, Fulgrim's the hero, not Sanguinius. Yeah, no.
Oh my gosh, his whole book is for the fact that he had a lot of flaws when it comes to his ego and how he views
Yeah,
himself, and that led to his descent into this whole
yeah.
state. That's what made him corruptible, what made
And
him
he was,
flawed.
yeah, and he's too weak of character to actually overcome it and become the hero that he could have been. Whereas the only Primarch that I can see that fell to chaos that I have any sympathy for really is Angron. And it's because he wasn't really given much of a choice with the Butcher's Nails severely interfering and influencing his mental processes, that he was disadvantaged from the get-go. But
Yeah,
the rest of them all made the choice and they fell pretty easily. As far as, well, not
exactly. Yeah.
necessarily easily, but they all fell. And they made their choice, but yet they were supposed to be paragons of humanity. So they are human, they are flawed, and how they chose determined whether they were good or evil. You
Yeah,
People,
absolutely.
I'm gonna plug Russ a bit. People bash on Russ that he's just a drunkard and he's just an animal and he's just one of the worst Primarchs, and yet I think he's probably one of the best support mechanisms for the loyalist Primarchs and for all of them. He teaches them lessons like Angron. Look, you're raging like a lunatic here, but your army's been destroyed and you're surrounded by my boys and they're ready to kill you. Do you not see the flaws in your logic? He talks to the lion, and the lion is basically an animal in human clothing, whereas the wolf is a human in animal clothing. but he actually supports the Lion, trying to teach him and discover himself, to understand himself better. Hell, the man even let his brother plunge a sword into his chest, taking out one of his hearts. Seems like they're replaceable, because that's the second time I think that Russ has had his heart destroyed. Once with the Lion and once with what's his name, Horus. But yeah, it's just there are good guys and there are bad guys, and life can be like that. You can define it black and white in that sense, but there are shades of gray as well, because again, the salamanders, to humanity, they're paragons of virtue and goodness, but to the Eldar, not so much.
I feel like we should do a separate video on what is good and what is
Yeah,
evil, really, for
exactly.
the people in the back who still are not sure what makes someone good and what makes someone bad. And it's really, really simple, but it seems complicated if you don't really understand
Well,
some things.
well, if you listen to modern pop culture, they try to blur the lines so much that, like that character that you were talking to said that Fulgrim is the angel, has missed the point completely. Their morality is being developed by pulp culture, by the sounds of it. No, I could be off the wall on that, but that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, just really messed up because if you think that it's
Mm.
good to become a slave to an evil entity that just wants to use you literally as a
And then
tool.
inflict misery on others.
Yeah, and someone then I already hear them. They will say, "Ah, the emperor is the same thing." Okay,
No, the Emperor wants to lift humanity up. It's just that it so happens that things have fallen apart and misery has occurred. I mean, it's not good, it's not right, but that is what has occurred. But you've got Gilliman coming back and trying to change all that, to try and lift humanity back up again.
yeah, and the emperor also does not treat at least his sons to be like completely like a robot, just do whatever I say exactly. He just left them to conquer the universe, to lead the whole crusade, whoever, I mean, whatever they see fit, basically.
Exactly.
So that is why Angra did his own stuff when he did his own stuff, and that was not good. And some of his own people question him, all those things. But it is totally a different perspective from where the emperor is coming from, and his ultimate goal is still to build humanity up and to protect humanity. His means are not good, for sure.
No, he's made mistakes.
He could have done a lot better in many, many ways, but he didn't. And this is where comes the question if he did that on purpose or if this was his plan. But again, this is another topic, guys. So, um,
Exactly.
yeah, we can discuss this because it's really sad. But I mean, for the younger generations, if they cannot understand these things. But like I said, if the profile picture is correct, the guy that wrote this about the Custodes, he's very old. Okay, if that is a correct picture, and he still doesn't understand. So there's people that are not adequate in terms of good or evil or intelligent enough to understand these concepts. Jesus, my phone just fell off my pocket. um, and it's just very different how you have been brought up, young or old. But yeah, I do see many of my generation or younger that are mega stupid. So there's that. Yes. Okay, guys. So thank you so much to Quinn. If you like to
Thank
see
you.
the whole thing, just go back as we said. And yeah, me and Quinn, because he's a very, very big veteran. It's an interesting contrast between me and him because you, Quinn, have been there from the very, very beginning, and I have not been born. So it's great.
Please don't remind me.
but I am very good at catching up, and like I said, analyzing literature. I cannot say this word, but yeah, analyzing a lot, writing things myself. So that's why I was able to get 40K so fast and to read so many books, like listening to them, I mean audiobooks, and to get the lore and the whole perspective on it and just get it, just it's made for me and how I understand things, so to speak. It's really, really breathtaking, and it's more deep that people may realize. That's why I loved it, because I did saw a lot of depth that maybe is not perceived by many people. It's very cool, but it's not only cool, it really has a lot more depth and interesting substance to it. So that's what, for me, 40K is so fascinating and amazing to discuss, and even find more and more things to love in it. So that's why we can have a future conversation about these things, and hopefully people can like switch their perspective to be a bit more, well, yeah, deep. I really cannot say it in any other way.
Uh, I've I've seen the rise of 40K. I know it quite well, but there's still a lot for me to learn. There's still a lot of new material for me to come across and discover.
Yeah, it
So
never
I don't
ends.
know it all, but I know the framework of what Warhammer 40,000 is to actually have a good grasp and take a position on things. But there are little minutiae and details that I'm unaware of or still learning and discovering, and I'm always willing to learn and discover new things about it. And that's the great thing about the universe. It's huge, it's massive,
Of
and it
course,
offers
yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah, we cannot know absolutely everything because the
No, there are
authors
things you know about
themselves
the 40.
don't.
Yeah, there's things about 40K that you know about that I don't. So,
Yeah, but
but when it
together we
comes to the
form
old stuff,
Voltron.
yeah, we'll patch the holes together.
Something like that. Okay, guys, so I just love the Voltron analogy. It's just so awesome. And maybe we can get that movie with Henry Cavill and Voltron. It's gonna be great. So yeah, okay, guys, I
Uh,
love you. If you want to support the channel, there's links down below. I also do a lot of coaching that is non-slaneshi in a pocket dimension. Normal content, to underline again, normal content in a pocket dimension of OnlyFans, where I really operate, and I just try to help you if you have any questions about fitness, health, nutrition, relationships, intimate relationships, basically. So everything that has to do with life coaching that encompasses all the mental health, the physical health, and your relationships health. That is what I do. That's what I coach there, and my own physique updates, and how I am doing in my own journey with the fitness and the health things. And all of that in very tastefully done manner. So non-slaneshi pocket dimension into the warp of OnlyFans, basically. That sounds very fun. A great, amazing support. Thank you. Okay, Quinn, with me and Quinn. Bye for now, guys. Bye bye.
Take care, guys.